Let's talk gas merchants then. The men with wheels. Right wing on the player power ranking video right now. And I tell you what, this is a hell of a top 10 list. One of the best. I think the top three in this category might be the best overall top three in any category. Oh, that's a big statement now I've said it. Oh no, I'm going to take that back. Number 8 was pretty handy. But it's so good. I'm quite excited about this one. As always, tell me what you think by getting stuck in the comments. And if you want to help me grow the show, reach new rugby fans, it's just me. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers. You can really help me out with a thumbs up on the video. And if you appreciate and you get value from the content, then I would love it if you would hit subscribe. At number 10 on my list, Rafael Storti of Portugal. I'm really pleased to be able to include someone from one of the lower nations in a top 10, particularly such a competitive list as well. I'm not doing it for the sake of it. I think he's earned his spot at number 10 on this list. He's been absolutely brilliant. A young man, only 22 years of age. He made his debut 4 years ago for Portugal, aged 18. Since then, 22 caps and 16 tries to his name, including some absolutely superb ones in the Rugby World Cup. Really important ones. They became everyone's second favourite team along with Fiji in the World Cup. They were just outstanding. And he's going to be playing at Stade Francais next season. So he's getting a big payday and a big stage to go and show what he can do on. Fantastic for Portuguese rugby. Great for Rafael Storti. He's number 10. At number 9, Mark Nwanganituase. Big old unit. 6'4", can shift. And again, another player, really young, only 23, and he's had a great year or so in the gold of Australia, and they're going to be losing him after next year because he's going to go and play rugby league because Australia spent a load of money on getting a young guy through who plays basically the same position as this guy, and for a third of the money they could have kept him. I think they've shot themselves in the foot a little bit there because he's one of the bright sparks in what has otherwise been a pretty dismal time for Australian rugby. Mark is at number 9. At number 8, Anthony Watson, England's best winger in my humble opinion. He didn't play in the Rugby World Cup, which was a huge blow for England. He is, do you know what? Deceptively quite a big man. He doesn't seem it when you see him play. He's got these sort of quite thin little legs, and he's more of a speedster. But he's a strong guy. He's really developed his game. He's just had horrendous luck with injuries. But I mean, I'll tell you what. The one stat about Anthony Watson, he's got 56 caps for England and 23 tries. But it's the 5 British and Irish Lions Test appearances that tells you everything you need to know about this guy. Bearing in mind how many good wingers there are between Ireland, England, Wales and Scotland, for this guy to get 5 test caps for the Lions, he's class. And he's the first person to get one of those new hybrid contracts where the RFU are centrally contracting some of his wage. So hopefully we're going to see that faith rewarded and see him turning out in the white jersey again and doing what we know he can. Number 7, Lewis Rees-Zammit, who I would love to have a 100-metre race between all of the speedsters in world rugby. Over 5 metres, 10 metres, there are maybe other guys that would beat Lewis Rees-Zammit because he is also quite a big fella. But I'll tell you what, his top-end pace is right up there. He is absolutely rapid. And he's only 22. And already in his young years, he's packed in 31 caps for Wales. Some player. And there's going to be a lot of clubs at the end of this season offering him a lot of cash to join them, probably in France next year. We will see. Wild talent Lewis Rees-Zammit is. At number 6, Darcy Graham, who I'm going to say this, tell me if you disagree, that's what the comments are for, or you agree strongly. One of the most underrated players in world rugby, Darcy Graham, because guys like Lewis Rees-Zammit get loads of headlines. This guy quite often gets overlooked. He is absolutely outstanding. Little diminutive figure, but he packs a punch, and his record is outstanding for Scotland. 39 caps, 24 tries. Now, I mean this with the greatest of respect. To get that record playing for Scotland is outstanding. Now, Scotland have been a really good team in recent years, and Darcy Graham has been a big part of that. But they have to punch above their weight, and that's an impressive try-scoring record. He scored 8 tries in 2023. He's been at 2 Rugby World Cups. He's only 26 years of age, so he's got another one in him and plenty of time. And I'm glad to say, and I'm glad to see that Darcy Graham's talents are finally getting appreciated to the level that they deserve. And above him is a club teammate of Darcy Graham's, Emiliano Buffelli, also plays at Edinburgh. And when he plays at Edinburgh, he's got the two Scottish wingers, Darcy Graham on the right wing, Duhan van der Merwe on the left wing, and Emiliano Buffelli plays at fullback for his club. And I think he is a fullback really, isn't he? But I've included him on the right wing here because that's where Argentina play him. Personally, can't quite understand that. I think they obviously just like Juan Cruz Malia as a fullback. I mean, this guy's safe as houses. He's exactly what you want in a 15. Dependable, reliable, solid, an amazing goal kicker as well. But to be fair to him, he does a great job on the wing on his own merits. Deceptively quick, makes great decisions. And a couple of years ago, he was one of the, not just best wingers, one of the best players on planet Earth, full stop. Probably top 5, go back a couple of years. He was awesome. And a really, really talismanic figure for Argentina. 28 years of age, he's got plenty more rugby in him as well. In fact, this whole category, and before we get into the top, in fact, I'll mention this in a minute, because Mac Hansen, 25, what I was going to say was, all of these guys on this list are really young. I'm just checking, there's not a single player 30 or over on this list, and you've got a bunch of guys in their early 20s. It's quite something, actually. There's a lot of talent, and this category gets me very excited. And Mac Hansen, do you know what I love about this guy? Not just how he plays rugby, but the bloke that he is. We need more guys like Mac Hansen in rugby. He's so different and unusual, a real big character. There's no one like him, and he just shoots from the hip, says what he thinks, and the things that he says and the way that he thinks is completely different to the norm, and I love it. He was an apprentice electrician in Canberra in Australia when he decided he'd give the rugby thing a go. He had a mate that was in his local pub who happened to know Andy Friend at Connacht and said, oh yeah, I've got this mate of mine plays a bit of rugby. His grandmother's Irish. They got him over as a bit of an experiment, and how well has it paid off? He's been awesome. And what I love about Mac Hansen is there is nothing exceptional about him. And that sounds like a criticism. What I mean by that is he's not as quick as Lewis Rees-Zammit. He's not as strong as Duhan van der Merwe. He's not massively tall. But he's awesome. And I think it's because his rugby intelligence and his rugby brain are just fantastic. His brain works at a speed and he makes the right decisions. And some of this stuff you just can't coach. He's just kind of got it, whatever it is. And Mac Hansen has been ace. Love him. Now into the top 3. And I said this top 3 is one of the best top 3s of any category. And for the fact that Will Jordan is sitting at number 3, think how good this guy is. He's at number 3. That tells you everything you need to know. What a player. 25 years of age, 31 caps, 31 tries. An outrageous record. I think he will be on the fullback lists going forward. You'd imagine Razor's going to use him maybe more in the fullback position. Certainly while Beauden Barrett is playing away in Japan. But I think in that time he may make that position his own. That will give him that little bit more time and those more touches on the ball. And you just want this guy to have the ball because the impact that he makes is absolutely dynamite. And again, a little bit like Mac Hansen, his brain works faster than anyone else on the rugby pitch. He's got the athleticism to then put that into action, which just means he is right place, right time, all the time. And yeah, a wildly talented fella. Love watching him play. And it was a really tough call between who's 3 and who's 2 between Will Jordan and Kurtley Arendse. Could have gone either way. Both fantastic players. And again, just like Will Jordan, Kurtley Arendse's try-scoring record is amazing. 15 caps, 13 tries, 27 years of age. But, you know, you can think about the hat-trick he scored in Pretoria earlier this year against Australia, the try he scored in the quarter-final against France at the World Cup. But the one moment, and I think this was when I was deciding who's 2, who's 3 out of Will Jordan, Kurtley Arendse, I thought back to that World Cup final, the biggest stage of all. Such a tight game. And Kurtley Arendse pulled off the most amazing try-saving tackle to deny Rieko Ioane. Match defining almost that moment. The effort, the attitude, the energy and the athleticism to make that tackle. You could probably count on one hand the number of people in world rugby. Maybe you could count on 3 fingers the number of people in world rugby who could have actually made that play. Kurtley Arendse is one of them, and for that reason he is number 2. But Will Jordan and Kurtley Arendse, amazing as they are behind Damien Penaud. I mean, if you disagree, that's what the comments are for, tell me, but I find it hard to argue. In fact, I find it hard to argue, not just that Damien Penaud is the best right winger in world rugby. I think he might be the best winger full stop. I mean, him and Cheslin Colby would be a dream combination. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? But I'm going to go one further and say that I think Damien Penaud, there's a strong argument to say he is the best rugby union player on earth right now. Honestly, even above Antoine Dupont. He is incredible. And what's amazing about Damien Penaud is he is rapid. He's so strong. Like Mark Talea, he just evades the first tackle every time. He's so elusive, makes great decisions. He's got that sharp rugby brain, reads the game really well, like Will Jordan I was describing. And he's got it all. The complete package. And his record this year, 14 tries in 2023. 6 at the Rugby World Cup. 48 caps for France, 35 tries. Born finisher, born... I say born, his dad was a pretty handy player as well. Damien Penaud, though, is on another level. I love this guy. Tell me if you agree, disagree, how you would have the top 10. I'll show you the full top 10. I think it's just an awesome list. Really, really awesome. Particularly that top 3. Look at that. Love it. As always, hit subscribe on the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Tell me what you think, most importantly. And yeah, one more to go, fullback. I'll be doing that on the next video. Until then, in a bit.